So if no one knows me here, my name's Isaac Savage. I am of Cook Island stock, a Joe citizen. I do travel around the country, emceeing events, interviewing fighters with our channel tonight on YouTube called GladraP. Basically, I'm an unpaid fight commentator, interviewer for the love of. I love martial arts, boxing, but also talking to people and getting out into the nitty-gritty of how they work and operate. Tonight, I'm emceeing Turning Point. We've got 3 interviews with 3 people that found themselves at an intersection in life. And intersection required a decision to do something, ultimately providing a catalyst for change. And I don't state this quite lightly, a change that these 3 people tonight are remarkable human beings. Now think about this for a second. Remarkable, amazing, incredible. In relation to these words, people don't achieve these by coincidence. If I may offer, for example, Roger Federer, often referred as the tennis-playing maestro, genius. He is without a doubt an extraordinary athlete. But for every ball he hits, we are watching hundreds and thousands of shots. Week in, week out, day in, day out, the week prior to that. Now, think about this. If Roger Federer didn't practice day in, day out, what would he be? With 100% confidence, I can say he wouldn't be the amazing athlete we see today. Not even with all his innate ability, is he a maestro without the repetition of practice. My point being, outstanding, incredible, amazing do not exist in isolation. They are, without exception, derivations of practice, endeavor, repetition, and application. I guess you could render the equation down to decision plus actions equals outcome. Tonight, though, folks, I'm going to introduce you to 3 individuals who made a decision that came to their turning point in climbing their own personal Everests. And without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to our first guest whose decision and consequent actions made him one of the finest fighters the sport of kickboxing has ever known. Please extend a warm welcome to 6-time world champion, Jason the Psycho Suttie.
Thanks. It's very nice of his words, and thank you for the warm welcome.
Now, Jace, I made sure all our guests tonight have the double couch for comfort, so you can sort of sit back and relax if you want. I just want to kick off the first part of it. I've known you for a few years now, watched and all over the years on TV, and I've always seen you clean shaven. And the last year or so, you got the beard. So, is it you can't be bothered shaving, or you just want to grow it out?
It started with I couldn't be bothered shaving. Like my job is my gym. I can take all my children to my gym. It's really cool, and I'm really glad they love the gym. So, yeah, sometimes you're just too busy. I stopped shaving. I said to my wife, I better have a shave, and she goes, it looks all right, leave it. So that was 1 year ago, so I left it, but I have to groom it. My daughter asked me to dye it black, and my wife makes me groom it.
Top effort, mate. You're doing a lot better than me. I'm still trying, mate, to get to that level. It was really good coming to the gym the other day and just having a quick chat to get a bit of a catalyst for what we'll talk about today. But for those that don't know the story, where were you brought up, and what was that life like in those young ages?
I was brought up in Ponsonby, Greyland. I lived in Westmere. I never told anyone that because I was one of the 2 only Polynesians in my street. My dad's European, my mum's Samoan. But I went to St. Paul's, which is right on Richmond Road, right in Ponsonby, and moved a lot of islanders when I was young. Yeah.
You told me as well that growing up you had a bit of a temper. Was that just the way you were? Did certain things make you like that, or it just was part of your natural being?
It wasn't the way that it was nothing to do with anyone except myself. I just had a really bad temper. I didn't like Samoans because they called me white because my dad was white. I didn't like the white people because they called me coconut. I didn't like the Māoris because they told me to get out. So I was just angry, inconfident little man.
And saying that, what were you like at school? Were you a good student or constantly getting into trouble?
I was a good student to the teachers because my dad always encouraged school, and so I worked hard at school. But in the playground, anyone that said anything wrong or anything, I just fought. So the only time I did get in a lot of trouble. I did get sent home a lot, but it was only for fighting. I was a naughty kid, but I didn't steal or draw on the school or tag or anything. I just fought all the time.
And what sort of sports were you into then? Obviously kickboxing now, but what sports were you in then? Were you actually participating in martial arts at that age?
No, I wasn't allowed to. No, I wasn't allowed to. I was rugby league and swimming. Yeah.
Warriors supporter?
Yeah, of course. I used to watch the league all the time. My first team, I was trained by Awhia Koi.
Akoi?
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, and I swam a lot. I was a good swimmer. Well, you know, it wasn't hard to win the races when it's all Polynesians because they don't swim that well. Yeah, so I was the champ. I was the champ every year, right from primary school through to secondary school because it was mainly Polynesians. Then when we went to the meets, the school meets where you got to race against all the other schools, I'd come about fifth in most races. So that's how good I was, really.
Less Polynesian and more Caucasian in the mix?
Trained swimmers with speedos and swimming caps, you know.
And saying that, as you grew into a teenager, was with your temper and obviously you were quite bright at school, you did okay with the grades. How did that sort of divulge and what happened in the later sort of years and teens for you at high school?
Okay, well, when I got to high school, so my best mates were Tongans because I didn't like Samoans because I spoke Samoan, so I loved my family. And I loved my cousins, and I was proud to be able to speak Samoan, but I didn't like Samoans in the playground because I just had a thing that they thought I was weak because I was half. It was all in my own head. Now I know. I can say it now that I finished school, and because I was a small Samoan, so I had small man syndrome to the Samoans. And I can say this now, I wouldn't have said it 20 years ago, but I was inconfident and I was scared. So I just always fought. And I fought with my heart. So I won a lot of fights in the playground. All my mates were Tongans, and then we had this gang. We weren't like I said, we weren't naughty. You know, we drank and we had fights. We didn't steal. We didn't rob anyone. We didn't even tag. You know. So then I was in the Tongan group, and I had this strong group of friends, and they're still my friends today, the good ones. You know. So then we had a name for ourselves, and
What was that name back then?
we
If you can say.
Tamahamo Bloods. So it was
Tamo Hamo. So where did that
it
sort of
finished
come from?
when we all left school. Okay, so it wasn't like a real gang where it was just like while we were hanging out together at school, and we used to fight a lot. I mean, then we got into there was a few street gangs there. I don't know if they're street gangs or just like gangs from school. And we started fighting with them, fighting, and then there was this one group. They were a bit older than us, Samoans, by the way, mostly Samoans. There might have been a few mixed in, but I remember the ones that gave me a good fight were Samoans. But the fight started to get quite serious, and I was smart as well, and I actually liked the fighting. But I thought, wow, I think someone's going to get seriously hurt. And then I heard about this other gang. We never met this gang, but there were some kickboxers that were, because kickboxing started coming about. And I thought, wow, and they were doing really well. And I thought, whoa, we meet that gang, we're going to have trouble because these kickboxers. So I thought, okay, I'm going to try and get on this scholarship. It's for school, for AFS, to get to go to Thailand so I can go, because I'm behind. They've already started it here. So I'll go to the motherland. I'll tell my parents I'm going there for school. I'll go to the motherland and I'll learn to fight so that when we come back, if we meet that gang, I can match them.
So let me get this straight. Most people start martial arts from 5 years old, the whole tradition of things and whatnot. You got into it purely to raise the street cred of the gang.
So, I'm telling you the whole story. This is just the start of it because it was negative. All my fighting started really negative, and, the sport that changed my life that I love, and they just come second to my family, I wanted to go to learn it, if I met people in the street, especially that one gang that had some kickboxers in it, that we could beat them.
And saying that, on your flight over there, and obviously when you've gone through all the paperwork, what was the I guess realization or reaction from family and friends when you said, "Hey guys, I'm off to Thailand"?
I mean, what, I'm 45, like 27, 28 years ago, no one really knew anything about Thailand. They knew about China and Japan. Like, no one knew about it. And I actually chose Thailand to learn to Thai box, but I also picked Thailand because it was cheap. I heard it was cheap to live, and my parents wouldn't have to send a lot of money, because if I went to Japan, which would have been good, that was really expensive, and my poor parents would have to send me. We couldn't afford it, so there was two reasons why I chose Thailand. So no one knew about it. They didn't think anything. They didn't think anything of it. But when I told them that I started fighting, everyone was like, "That's him. He was supposed to be a fighter."
When you got there though and did start training day in, day out, was it a bit of a wake-up call, doing the morning sessions, night sessions, then sparring and whatnot, compared to just having a 30-second scrap on the street?
Yeah, massive. Like, that's a real sport. I was training 3 hours in the morning. I was training an hour in the morning, 3 hours in the afternoon. I was doing 10 Ks a day. In 1 month, I'd lost 15 kilos. I went from 95 to 80, and I fought my first fight from 95 kilos at 72 kilograms.
How did you let people know about the weight loss with no Facebook back then?
Yeah, no, and what I respected was, we thought about weights and being big, but being so much lighter and smaller, these guys can kick ass.
And saying that, for those watching out here tonight, when you did have that first fight, all your fights had been maybe 30-second, 1-minute brawls on the street, hands only. What was it like training day in, day out, then looking at your opponent in the eyes, just another guy that you actually had to spend 12 minutes in the ring with, no escape?
It was 15 minutes.
15,
yeah.
Sorry.
It was so I had a lot of street fights. My first fight was against a professional Thai who'd had about 30 fights. So I didn't know that until I came back. So I just thought, fight. I've had lots of fights, no problem. It was scary having an organized fight, because when you're in the street, when you're in the playground, your temper just clicks like that, and you don't think about it. It's just, that's it. But this fight, it was scary. I couldn't sleep the night before the fight. Not eating the night before the fight was easy. I ate all the wrong foods I didn't know. But I did all right. It was 5 3-minute round. I did full. So usually you have your first fight just boxing, kicking, knees, no knees to the head. I had boxing, elbows, knees to the head, kicks. And when I came back to New Zealand a year later, I realized that that's your goal before you finish Thai boxing, is you want to fight a Thai? Yeah, I fought a Thai first. So it was good. I didn't think much of it. I just fought another fight, but it really opened my eyes to the sport, and I had so much respect for it after that, and so much respect for fighting.
Would you say that changed your outlook, or was a bit of a turning point, going from leading the gang or being one of the, nastiest or fiercest in that group, to then fighting someone that you trained to fight? It sort of changed your outlook on the whole fight scene?
This fight where I lost, this was my turning point. This is where I didn't want to fight in the street anymore. That's easy. That's rubbish. You wanna fight, like, do it real like this, because I did 10 weeks, which was really fast. I didn't know that, but 10 weeks of training, when I never trained like this ever in my life. It was 10 weeks of doing 10 Ks every day, 10 Ks in the morning, another 3 in the evening, and then training. This is it. This is all I wanted to do after this. And by the way, I was the first. Like, there's about 340 exchange students from all over the world there. I was the first exchange student to ever have a fight in the ring. I don't think they knew what they were doing either, and they just realized, whoa, that's really dangerous. He could have got seriously hurt. So I was the first, and I think I was probably still the last exchange student to fight. So I was there to learn school, to learn the language, to learn Thai, and I learned it really well. But this was in my free time.
Coming back to New Zealand, was it like a bit of a reverse culture shock? Because the Thai culture is very traditional, very respectful. You'd come back to Auckland, you knew how to speak Thai, you'd obviously liked the food, you'd trained to be almost like an assassin. What was it like coming back? Did you go back to your old life, or did you distance yourself from that?
No, it was good, because learning how to fight. No, I didn't go back. Things were the same, and I could have jumped back into the fighting, but I had confidence now because I knew how to fight. I knew that it's hard fighting in the ring, and that's easy fighting out of the ring. So I had confidence. So my goal was not to fight in the ring, and I wasn't scared of people anymore, because I knew, actually, I can beat you up now. I didn't know before, so I just took chances. I took a risk.
So you didn't go looking for that old group?
Nah.
Or that guy that...
Some of them are still my mates, but we'd finished school, so the gang was finishing anyway. It was just a part-time gang while we were at school. But I had confidence. The change was, I had confidence now, and I wasn't scared. And I didn't say it then because I was still young, but I realized, later, I was just had all those fights because I was scared.
Saying, in discussion to that, you say you weren't scared. Is that also what helped you move up the weight levels? Because usually when you start off at 75 kilograms, you stick at that weight. Most normal people do that have I wouldn't say normal frame of mind, but for you to jump up all those weight levels fighting heavyweights with a smaller frame, what made you go up all those stages? Was it just constantly meeting a challenge and then exceeding it?
Just meeting a challenge. So you fight New Zealand titles, South Pacific titles, Commonwealth, then you get to world title, and I turned professional. I turned professional after my first year back in New Zealand. Then, so my third year, I turned professional. And you fight to get a world title, then you think, okay, you're going to get fights because you need people to fight to get paid. But I don't know. Am I patting my back too much? I was that good. I was very good in my weight that no one wanted my world title. They were like, you have your world title, so I wasn't getting any fights. So then I just said, okay, I'll go up. And then I did it in that weight, and then I did it in that weight, did it in that weight. And then I remember when I went to heavyweight, I started to get lots of offers for fights because they were like, he's a super middleweight. He's 20 kilograms lighter. 20. Yeah, I fought people. Most people I fought were 5 to 10 kilograms up to 50 kilograms heavier than me. So if you can imagine them, they're like, he used to be, and that's now. But they were thinking he was 25, so they were probably thinking he's 50 to 70 kilograms lighter than us. I'll fight him. But it took 1 year in the super heavyweights, and then the same thing happened. Then it was hard to get fights. So, yeah.
When you talk about fighting, I can see you love it, and that's why you started the gym, et cetera, et cetera. But, as a fighter, you reach the highs, right? It's like ecstasy, winning a fight in front of all those people. And you reach the lowest of the lows. What was one of your lows as a fighter?
Okay. So when I did go to super heavyweights, I went up to super heavyweights. It was first. It was one of the first fights in my super heavyweights. I went up to super heavyweights, And I fought in this the K1 tournament that was really famous, and the prize in New Zealand was 10 grand, was a lot of money, and then Australia with 30 grand, and in Japan it was $1 million. So I was like, okay,
$1 million. What year was this? $1 million.
This was like 2002. So the year before that, I went into this tournament, with this dream, and I was doing all right. I'd come up 86, 70, 72, 76, 78, 79, 86, 95, and then I went into super heavyweight, and I went into this tournament. I trained so hard. I got knocked out in the first round. I'd never been knocked out, and I was 10 years with no losses in New Zealand, so I was well known. I had my own gym. I got knocked out in the first round. It was the only time I got knocked out, but I got knocked out in the first round. I kept my gloves on all night, just hoping that I was going to get called back in, that someone else would get injured, because it was an 8-man tournament. It broke my heart. I went full and confident. I couldn't teach my class on Monday. I went to a sports psychiatrist. I rang people, got books, and it took me a long time to come back from that. Like, I cried, and I was like, it's like, it was really, really low for me. Like, 10 years I'd been on a high, and I'd changed my life, and I'd found this new love of my life, and I got knocked out in the first round. I hadn't lost in New Zealand for 10 years. It broke me big time. I was back to my confidence. I stayed away from people, but I read books, and I talked to a lot of people, and we even went to a sports psychiatrist.
And saying that, you went through those lows and those highs. Fighting has made you a better man, right? And if so, how? In what ways?
So from that lowest low, I got back up. I came back to that same tournament the next year, to the guy that won it, to the guy that won it the year before, to the guy that knocked me out, and I won the tournament. So I went from my lowest low to my highest high, and I just learned, man, you never give up. You never give up. Just get up. Keep going. And it was a year later. It was a year later for me to get that confidence back that I had before that knockout.
And after winning all those tournaments, was that your next dream? You'd achieved what you had in that. Was that then to start ETK?
Yes. So I'd started ETK before that. Yeah, I'd started ETK before that. I started ETK because I actually just wanted a place to train. I'd never planned to be a trainer. But then when I got retired, that's when my next dream came along.
And saying that you've created a stable family, how important is it for your family? Obviously, you've got children, wife. How important are they in your life, and from I guess the low lows, high highs, and to support with you now?
My children or my gym?
Children and wife.
Oh, so I am grateful that my wife wasn't a kickboxer, but I'm so grateful that she jumped on and she took my sport. She welcomed it with open arms. I take my kids. I've got a 15-year-old, 5, 4, and 2-year-old. Some days I try to take them in the evening because it's quite busy, but I take them to my gym and they love it. And I'm just love that my kids love the gym, so I can take them to work. And I don't even like calling my job work because I love to do it. If I won the lotto, all that's going to change. I'm going to go to the gym every day, but it's just going to be nicer.
The reason I mention Anna too, because obviously at all the events I run into her, you're running around and Anna's an absolute boss. They say behind every good man is an even better woman, and she is an absolute soldier when it comes to what I've seen at the events, but probably also too with the support for a fight all over the years.
It's absolutely true, man. I meet a good man, and I'm just waiting to meet the wife because she's the driver, and she, it really is true. I believe it.
Even though you're the fighter, she's probably sets you in place at times, right?
Yeah, sometimes.
And those kids, right? We met a couple of them the other day. beautiful kids. What's your dream, I guess, for ETK first?
My dream for ETK is to be the biggest, busiest gym in New Zealand, and I just want everyone from the top, from the world champion to the person that first came in, to be all connected, because it's my love. So I want, I love all of them that come, because they're having a start, and some of them have no plan to fight, but I have admiration for them taking up my sport. So my dream and what we're trying to do is just to connect the whole gym, so we're one big family.
And I guess on a personal level, what's the dream for the family moving forward? Are you okay if any of your daughters, sons fight, or would you prefer them to stay away from that?
So yeah, no, I don't. I'm happy if they never want to fight. I'm happy if they never want to fight. My daughter, she's, up till about the age of 7, she'd probably been to the gym every day of her life. She never did any classes. I never forced her, but her punishment would be like, if she was naughty, I'd say, okay, you're not coming to the gym today. And she'd cry, saying, oh, I want to come to the gym. With my boys, I thought, I'm going to force them to do Thai boxing from 5. I'm going to force them, and by the time they're 10 and they're good enough, and that's the age that they'll probably fight, they won't want to fight, and I'll be happy with that, because they're good enough to defend themselves, and they're probably sick of it, and they never want to jump in the ring, and then I've done my job. Because I don't know how I'm going to watch them fight in the ring, but at least they can defend themselves now.
Oh, that's a good way of putting it. Now, obviously, too, we've got an event in a couple of weeks for your son, Phoenix. For those out there that would want to attend, can we talk about any details of that, of where we would go and what we need to bring, or to bring in attendance for Phoenix?
Yeah, so my son, Phoenix, he's 5 years old. He's 6 this year. He's not walking or talking yet. He's going to talk one day. My dream for my family, my kids, they're all right. They can walk and talk. They're going to make it in the world. My dream for my family is for him to walk and talk one day. So we do fundraising events. So we've got a ride for Phoenix, and I got a whole lot of bikers come. I think we've had about 300 bikes, and we've done it twice. It's kicking off at the gym on the 13th of May, Sunday the 13th of May. So people will start turning up at 9 o'clock. It's pretty cool, because it's a good group of people, and because it's so you see different bike groups, gangs, non-gangs, but because they're there for a good reason. They know what they're there for. You see the good side of everyone.
And saying that, I've met Phoenix. Probably a few people in the room have tonight. He's absolutely adorable. With all due respect, if you could give up anything for Phoenix to walk and talk again, you would, right? You'd
Absolutely.
Put everything on the line for
Absolutely.
it.
Yeah, absolutely. Easy.
Without a doubt. And look, I have to ask, you're an absolute legend. I still get a little bit starstruck meeting you when I do, and I bet people do in the street. I have to ask, when you see the guys that you've fought still fighting, that Peter Graham, for example, was cracking, close to 50, I don't know, late 40s, do you ever want to get back in there?
No, I'm satisfied with where I'm at right now. It took a long time. It probably took. So I've been retired for 10 years this year, and probably the last 3 years I'm okay where I'm at. Well, I hurt my neck fighting, because my frame wasn't supposed to fight big people like that. So I got a titanium plate and pins put in my neck. And then I fought again after a year, and then I did it again, and then the specialist just said, no, you're done. You get hit in the wrong way, your neck goes the wrong way, you'll lose because I couldn't lift my right arm for about 10 weeks. So I was still going to fight, because I thought it was just my right arm that I was going to lose. I was prepared to lose my right arm, and I actually had a fight with it like that. And the specialist, he heard it on the radio, and I shouldn't have answered that call. But he goes, I heard you're fighting. I know you're fighting this week. You're not going to lose your right arm. You're going to lose everything from your neck down. So I fought that fight, and I never fought again after that. I fought that fight because I couldn't pull out. And it wasn't a good fight because I fought with a big paranoia. Like, you always visualize walking to the ring. I visualize walking to the ring, getting in the ring. I visualize my hands up at the end. But this time, because of him, I shouldn't have answered that call. I fought really paranoid. I won by knockout, but it took me to get hit first because I fought really hesitant, really scared. And then he hit me, and I realized, oh, yeah. So what I visualized was that I was on the ground, and I was trying to get up, but only my head was moving, and my arms and legs and my whole body was just on the ground. So I was really paranoid. So when I got hit in the ring, this was in the second round, I got hit, and I like kind of checked my arms and legs, and then I knocked him out.
No wonder you got the name Psycho Suttie. And saying that, you know, you said you're happy with where you're at now. How good is it to, I guess, start from where you did, being a teenager, fighting the streets, go to Thailand, and now have a stable, a beautiful family, and legends and champions in the ring? Does that fulfill your life? You know, living your life through these fighters and seeing them do well and get championship belts.
It's my I can't remember where I got this age. Confucius says,
Yep.
find a job you love and you never have to work a day in your life. I know what he means because I live it. Because I even hate saying that, I'm going to work, because I feel like I'm cheating my sport, because I'm not going to work. I'm going to do what I love.
And saying that too, you know, anyone out there tonight that's ever been beaten up or, you know, going through some hard decisions or at a turning point, what would you say? You know, when you've been down in the dumps, some of those hardest fights, what would you say to them to push through and continue on?
Man, if you got something that you love, okay, if it's negative, I don't know what to say. But if just never give up. Never give up. Like, it's not about being the best. And people say, it's not about being the best. It's just perseverance. Keep going, because it comes good. If you want it and you keep trying hard, you'll get there. You'll get there.
And there you have it, guys. 6-time world champion, Jason the Psycho Suttie. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Me and him are almost the same height, and I can't believe you took on 130, 40-kilogram men. That is just insane. Awesome work. We're going to have a 3-minute break. Be back in, probably 7:25. Grab some chips, grab some water, go to the loo. We'll see you soon.